Good afternoon, everyone. How's your day? It's fine? That's a great. Have a good stretch after class. It's really a lovely day. The text we're going to cover today is the Mies AlphaGo, using machine learning to master the ancient game of Go. The word AlphaGo triggered my mystical feeling in the cyber age. It is an artificial intelligence. I'm going to do a quick background check on your understanding of artificial intelligence. What do you think it is? What do you think artificial intelligence is?
I think it's like a database that contains ways of reactions to different sort of problems.
Yes, that's a pretty an expert kind of opinion. Thank you very much. Do you have any ideas on that?
Maybe intelligent man-made machines.
That's a good one. Intelligent, man-made machines. It's like a computer, right? We're all computer literate, meaning we all know how to use computers. We almost use it on a daily basis. Human beings is at a great crossroad in history. We're moving forward. We inevitably involve our reflection into the relation between computers and human beings. Jonathan Nolan has recently reflected upon this relation in his TV series, Person of Interest. There are two really interesting quotes that I would like to share with you today. On this side, it's a common interface where this computer, called the machine, is talking to its user. It said, "You're wrong, Harold." On the right-hand side is another interface where it's talking to its creator, Harold Finch. Mr. Finch said, "You're my creation. I can't let you die." The machine said, "Father, I'm sorry. I failed." What's interesting in it? Is it like human beings or like computers? Yes, it's like human beings, right? So this is a very close relation between computers and human beings, as if in the role of father and son. And this computer possesses the moral judgment of right and wrong that is unique to human beings. This close relationship is just one type of a projection into the future role between computers and human beings. There are other possibilities. We're going to see that today. The author, Demise, he's a game developer, a nerd, a neuroscientist, a nerd, an AI entrepreneur, a nerd. So what is a 3x nerd doing in writing an article? It's an exposition. The purpose of the exposition is to explain, inform, teach, or even describe. So in this article, he's going to describe to us and explain to us what AlphaGo is. But there's one problem. He's an expert. We are laymen. So how can he make us understand something so complicated? Whenever we're writing an exposition, we're thinking of one question: how to write an understandable and convincing piece. So there are two objectives today. The first one is to comprehend the text. And the next one is to grasp the techniques that Demise has used in this article. So in our future cases, when we actually have to write exposition, we'll know what kind of things we can use in our article. The structure of this article is pretty straightforward. It started with an account of the game of Go. And in the main body, he explained to us the creation of the AI, AlphaGo, for the game. In the end, he projects into the future of the relation between AI and human history and human society. Let's see the three parts one by one. First, he started by saying the account of game of Go. What do you think the game of Go is? For Chinese, do you have any Chinese word for it? That's a good one. It's a game, 围棋, that doesn't need much explanation to us. We Chinese know it, right? So now, what is important in this part is how he explained to us what the game of Go is. So now please read paragraph 1 and 2 really quickly, sentence by sentence, and try to find out the answers to these 5 hints. Yes. That's a good one. Okay, let's wrap it up. Could we say the answers together? Cool then. So, what was the time of origin for the game of Go? Yes, 2,500 years ago. Who said it was one of the 4 essential arts? Confucius. Good, Confucius. So, how many people are playing it nowadays? 40. Yeah, louder, please. Thank you. 40 million. So, how to play the game?
Players take turns to face black or white.
Yes, 2 players. We need to capture and surround the opponent. Great. And where does the beauty lie? The first word is a little bit difficult. Subtlety, intellectual depth, and complexity. Let's look at what he used here. Exact impressive numbers like 2,500 years, 40 million, authoritative figure like Confucius. Every Chinese knows who Confucius is, right? Yes. And the technical terms, the language of the game of Go, like capture and surround. So all these things give his explanation logic, clarity, objectivity, and authority. All these 4 qualities are essential for exposition. We're going to see more of that in the second part, but before that, we're going to learn a new word, subtlety. It's the noun form of the word subtle. If we look it up in a dictionary, we find that subtle means something that is not obvious or noticeable, at least immediately. What is that? I see your frown. It's a little bit difficult because it's an abstract word that is not tangible. Problem is how to memorize abstract words. We try to build a connection between it and concrete entities. So subtle is like the beauty behind the veil in Eastern and Western world. It's beautiful, but it's not immediately obvious. Going to give you 2 examples. The painting has subtle shades of brown. The flower has the delightful subtle scents. The color in art, the fragrance in nature, both are beautiful things, but not so obvious. So in these cases, we can use the word subtle. So now let's look at the second part. I'm going to assign you to different groups. For those of you, please read paragraph 3, 4, 5, and 6. So while you're reading each paragraph, please try to find out 2 things. First, examples using numbers. Second, technical terms. I fill in some of the blanks and need to worry about the rest. Wow, that was fast. Okay, let's wrap it up. I'm going to answer you. So when he introduced to us the milestones in our history, did you find any numbers? Sorry to find you again.
Yes, there are a lot of numbers
Yes.
which representing years.
Like, can you give me one example?
1952,
Great, thank you. 1952, 94, 97, 2011, 2014. All these years arranged in chronological order. Each year, the AI cracked a human game. That's a very good one. So let's see the next part where he explained the new AlphaGo to us. Did he use any technical terms?
Numbers
Yes?
is through.
Oh, sorry. No, the technical terms. The language of computers.
Sorry.
Yes, that is a bit challenging because we do not have the background knowledge of computers, right? It's okay. It's like search tree, neural network, neuron-like connections. Let us not forget that Demis is a neuroscientist. So he's trying to compare computers to human brains and see how these two things work. So can I ask you about paragraph 5, where he explained the working mechanism of AI? Did he use any numbers?
Yes, there are 30 million moves, 57% of the time, and 44%.
Yeah, 57% of prediction, right? Success. Great, 30 million moves, 57% of prediction instead of 44, a great leap and improvement. Now the next paragraph where he explained, he put real-life trial of AlphaGo. Did you find any numbers?
Oh, but one of its 500 games.
Yes.
Age of 12. 5 games to 0.
Yes, great. That's a good one. So, against Fan Hui, who started to play at the age of 12, and there was 5 games to 0. That's an overwhelming success. So now let's look at the PowerPoint. So he has used all those exact impressive numbers, give us a very clear idea of the development of AI in history and the current status of it. And the technical terms give us the voice of an authority, the voice of an expert. Now let's take a second glance at these terms. Search tree, neural network, as if in the 4th paragraph he said, we build a system AlphaGo that combines an advanced search tree with deep neural networks. It's a pretty abstract idea in the new field, but we do have things to make it easier to understand. For example, when we see tree, we have this kind of picture in our mind with different layers. It's not beautiful, but it's the best my son can do. And for network, it's a lines connected by nodes. If we make it more abstract, we can ask the person of interest in the sea of data. If we hit on one person, it helps us to connect to every single one he knows indirectly and directly in his life. If we make it more abstract, we can see the working mechanism of AlphaGo is making predictions based on probabilities. So, what is it doing here? It's using our existing knowledge, trigger the images in our mind, and try to make new things easier to understand. That's the merit of metaphor. We're going to do a simple exercise today, not like the word coinage of new field. Suppose your boyfriend that you have been together for 8 years has recently dumped you for Fan Bingbing. Your girlfriend dumped you for Li Chen. So what would you say to him?
You a bad guy.
That's a smooth one. You're a bad guy, right? He has really broken your heart. We compare sadness to glass. You have broken my heart. We can't literally rip heart out of someone's chest, tear it into 2 parts, and throw it on the street. I see your smile. You want to do it to your ex-girlfriend. That wouldn't work. But we can do it metaphorically. So for anger, when your mother is calling your phone in, what kind of image do you have in mind? Fire. She is breathing fire. So for illness, we can visualize it as an opponent, right? So I can say, I can beat this cold. So for metaphor, it can make things easier to understand and more vivid. Now let's see the last part. where he projects into the future of AI. You have a really good habit of page turning. Thank you. So, in the 5th paragraph, he said, but our goal is to beat the best human players, not to mimic them. That's a really ambitious one, right? It's just a machine, but it can do it. In the last paragraph, he said, we are thrilled to have mastered Go and thus achieved one of the grand challenges of AI. We see words and phrases like thrilled, mastered, achieved, and grand challenges. From these words and phrases, we understand one thing. He's really satisfied at what he and AlphaGo have achieved. Yes, AlphaGo has been licedo in early 2016. That's a new news. He has accomplished a lot. But my question is, what role does this author assume for the AI in real life, in human society? What's its role? Is it like the close emotional engagement as a father and son in person of interest? Or it's like human do the designs, pull the strings, and AI does the legwork, kind of helper role? Now, please read the last paragraph quickly and try to come up with your own interpretation. Okay, let me ask you, is it like a father and son kind of relation, or is it kind of helper role? Could you say it louder? Yeah, kind of helper role, right? He wants to apply AlphaGo into real life problems like climate modeling. So in a model, we change one variable and we inevitably change other variables, see how those changes respond to each other. Yes, that's a good one. It's a helper role. Now, which one are you more comfortable with? The close emotional engagement or the helper role? Which one are you more comfortable with?
Emotional engagement.
The close emotional engagement. Do you have any reasons for that?
It's more humility.
Oh, so it carries the value of humanity in it. That's a really good thought. Yes. What do we do today? We comprehend the text, analyze the structures, and then we grasp the techniques like the numbers, the technical terms, and the metaphors. So all these things are useful in writing an exposition. So please use them in the assignment. Please watch season 1 of Person of Interest and write a short composition of 300 words. Please make use of all those techniques that we have talked about in the class and have a serious reflection into the future role of AI in human society. You're the younger generation. You have a voice in the future. Make good use of that and have a serious reflection upon it. That might be a bad idea. You may just watch it and show, forget the assignment, but I have faith in you. I like it. So let's give it a go. Thank you very much.
Thank you, contestant number 27. Now let's hear the judge from your questions.
Yes.
Okay. We have this word "go" for 围棋, right?
Yes.
Can you explain why we use this word "go" instead of 围棋 to refer to our 围棋?
That's a really interesting question because it provided me too. In some aspects of translation, because Chinese is quite different from English, like something distinct in Chinese traditional therapy, we translate qi. We used to try to locate an equivalency in English, but we failed, so I used the qi. But in this case, I'm really bewildered. Why did not use the direct translation of Weiqi instead of the game Go? Do you have any answers?
In fact, we have this direct translation as well.
Yes,
but
but he's
why-
an American.
Why did they use Go here?
I guess he's American, so he's standing on the side of American instead of on the Chinese.
I don't think so.
That's fair.
Something about the whole text.
Yes.
You see, tell me why people play mahjong or pokers or chess, etc. What's the purpose of it?
That's a hard thing to say.
Just for fun. It's very simple.
Nah. I'll give you an example. Because a lot of people are so bored in Chinese towns, so they get to play mahjong. It's a way of being bored. It's a way to relax because you're bored, but it's a way to build bonds between people. Besides, you can earn some money out of it.
That is also fun.
Yes, but you can earn money out of it. But
No,
there are also
no,
other
let's
reasons.
put money aside.
Okay. Older people play mahjong for another reason. Alzheimer. I think they want to postpone it because people are saying that mahjong is an antidote to Alzheimer's, so they might want to like it because they don't want to get Alzheimer's.
No computer can take human place to play Go or Weiqi. So I think I'm afraid sooner or later we'll lose some kind of pleasure. What do you think?
You can play to human beings instead of computers.
So what's the use of computer playing Go with human beings?
I think they want to use the game as the way to test the ability of the game, ability of the computers, like the algorithm behind it, and before putting it into more serious problems like climate modeling, disease diagnosis. So it's a good start, but they're applied it into future cases. We might expect that to happen because it's here. Yeah, IBM's Watson has recently helped to diagnose one kind of heart disease in only 10 seconds. That's a recent development. I believe they can do something more.
Okay, that's what I'm looking for. Thank you.
Thank you.